Hello, I'm Robbie Stingle, and thank you for watching. Today, we're going to talk about this. This is a 1985 Vanguard. This particular guitar took me about 5 years to build. It was very difficult finding the parts. Now, let's start off with this neck. This neck is a transition neck from, very, probably late-ish 84. This is when they weren't quite milling the shelf all the way. They were new at this. So this nut actually hangs off the shelf a bit. It's made by ESP, and it's one of the ESPs that have the truss rod adjustment on the headstock. They didn't make many of those. So it's basically one piece except for the glue up headstock for the banana. I had to bid on this neck. It was a fight. I ended up getting it though. I think it was somewhere around $300 at the end. But I had this neck. And I kind of decided it would be really nice to build another Vanguard. And it took me the longest time to find this body. And this is an 85 Vanguard body made of poplar. And that was very difficult to find. Most are alder. Poplar gives it a little bit better sound in my opinion. When I received this body, it was in pretty rough shape. I had to custom sand and carve the plug for the barrel jack because they had like butchered the barrel jack out, for some other sort of jack, but it wasn't a jack plate jack, so it's a mystery to me what they put in there. And they had also put an extra hole for a Gibson type switch, which I removed and filled. As you can see, you can't tell that it was there. And then when I was finally finished with the pre-assemblies, I sent it to Marty Bell, and I think he did a really good job on it. Now, the neck fit into the pocket very tightly. And the Vanguards and the Condors, they had loose neck pockets and usually had shims in the pocket. This has absolutely no shim in the pocket whatsoever. It is a tight fit and it has no shim. I had to file it down a little bit to get the action where I liked it, but there's no shim in the pocket. So I bolted the neck into the pocket and checked to see if the Floyd would line up, and it did not. So I filled the Floyd holes, the mounting stud holes, and re-drilled them so the strings would line up on the neck properly, instead of filing the side of that pocket so you could move the neck a little bit to align the strings. So that's pretty cool, in my opinion there. Now, as you can see, it has gold hardware, and I had gotten the gold hardware mostly from Uplander in California. Uplander guitars. They helped a lot. Of course, the tool pack I had to purchase a remanufactured tool pack in gold, and the nut came with the Floyd Rose. The string retainer did not. And that was the one thing that wasn't in the box, because this Floyd Rose is a 1983 first run Floyd Rose that I got new old stock in the original box, in the original plastic, tied up with a rubber band. If you could believe that. I paid about $500 for that, which today is worth a lot more. And I got, of course, the period correct, volume and tone knobs. So I named this guitar Elvira, because she's a black beauty, and Elvira is the well-known Scream Queen movie host, and she also had 2 movies. So I decided this was going to be the Elvira model Kramer, and I put this Elvira's decal on there. If you could see it better here. If you could see her, there she is. I also got a vinyl transfer for the guitar case. Now, I actually found the case for this too, and I had it for years, waiting to put this thing together. All the stuff in the boxes and everything else. Now, of course, the bridge pickup is the 78 Seymour Duncan Custom Shop, wound by Marcelo Juarez. But the neck pickup is a Schaller, an early Schaller, and this I got from Uplander as well. They're kind of getting hard to find. It has an 8.11 output. And there's a little funny story here that I found new old stock Schaller neck pickups, on the eBay Reverb, I don't remember which. And they were like new old stock in the bag and all, and I ordered one and I got it. And it didn't work. And that whole weekend I was going crazy. I was changing every aspect of the electronics, until finally I said, well, it must be the pickup. Now, I should have checked the output of the pickup right away. Then I would have known. But I didn't. And I finally figured out that the pickup was no good. And then, it was the whole thing, returning the pickup, getting my money back. Of course, they kept the shipping, but, they wanted to know if I wanted another one. I was like, nah, no way. So I got this one. And that was the story on that there. So it's a good sounding guitar. Before making yesterday's video, I came across a problem with one of the pottometers. I kept the same pottometers I used on the pre-assembly, which weren't, brand new, but they worked at the time. And I was getting problems with that. So luckily for me, I got through the video with it. And I'm going to have to go back in and change that pottometer. But it's one of the things, when you build guitars, you're always going to have that something happen. And you're like, oh, God, what's wrong? And for me, there's nowhere to go to, I can't have somebody fix it. They're not familiar with the particular wiring. And, so I always have to figure out what the problem is. And I'm happy to say that I always do. It gets a little bit tedious at times, but if you build guitars, just hang in there and keep trying until you fix the problem. So, oh, Princess is here. Hey, Zora. Hey, girl. What are you doing, huh? What are you doing? Are you a good girl? So I'm going to tack on a little story from when I was in high school. Now, when I was a senior in high school, I was jamming with this guy in his basement for quite a while. And he had a sister. And the sister was going out with this kid who was a sophomore at Jackson High School. And he came over to play. And his favorite song was Taking Care of Business. And he could play Tangerine, you know. But we played Taking Care of Business several times. And he kind of liked the way I was playing. And he wanted to jam outside of this guy's house. So he invited me over. I ended up going over there probably about six times, maybe seven. And we would jam. He loved the sound of the 71 Marshall and the 412 cabinet. I was playing a Gibson Les Paul at the time. And he just loved the sound. And I showed him a whole lot of love, you know, and he was really digging that. And one day I just said to him, I said, look, you know, if you want to make it in music, you got to stop playing this high-pitched, out-of-key stuff. This is playing all this really wild stuff. And I'll tell you what, I don't know if I totally missed the boat on the guy or I inspired him to practice more, because he just played scales all night long and slept at school for a couple of years. And he started a band, and I couldn't be in his band because I was too old. I was a senior in high school, and he was a sophomore, you know. And that was too old to be in his band. And this guy's name was Jeff Weedland. And he changed his name to Zach Wild. And I thought you guys would appreciate that story from way back in the day. So I hope you found that interesting. Shout out to the subscribers. You guys are terrific. You know, and thanks for watching. And have a nice day and rock on.